In this series I tell stories from the Beattie Studio collection. Photographer Watt Beattie left behind an amazing collection of colonial and convict era photographs. And today I'm talking about the one particular photograph of the GPO as photographed from Franklin Square. And in this photograph there are two subjects, of course. There's Franklin Square and then there's the GPO. And I'm going to start with this episode talking about the GPO. There's a rich photographic history in Tasmania, and Beattie Studio has thousands of historic photographs. Let me show you some things about Tasmania that have been forgotten. G'day and welcome to Forgotten Tasmania. I'm John Stevenson. There were mail services in Hobart town immediately it was established in 1804. Mostly mail was carried by ships and payment was made in kind, barter or trade. In 1812, Governor Davey appointed John Beaumont to the position of Postmaster General. But Mr Beaumont resigned pretty quickly to take a job with actual money because he only got paid the postage fees. In 1814, James Mitchell, a deputy to Isaac Nichols, the Postmaster General of New South Wales, operated a post office from his house on the corner of Argyle and Macquarie Streets in Hobart town, until 1818 when it moved to Collins Street and then Murray Street in 1822. By 1835 there were 3 mail deliveries every day except Sunday. In those days a letter took 225 days to get from Hobart town to London, so not much has changed today. Sorry, that was a cheap joke. So the corner of Macquarie and Elizabeth Streets where the GPO stands today wasn't always the site of a post office. In 1818 that piece of land was owned by the Lord family and referred to as Lord's Corner. Mr David Lord built a house there around 1820, and it said he kept a tame eagle chained to the main gate on Macquarie Street to guard over the entrance to the property. Although it was a family home, it was also used by the Derwent Bank for a while around 1827, but it remained a private residence until it was acquired by the government in 1901 and demolished to make way for a new GPO building. Judging by the newspaper articles in 1901, the people of Hobart town were just as unhappy about their old buildings being torn down as they are today. There was a competition to design the new building, and local architect Alan Cameron Walker was selected over 8 other entrants to provide the design. Walker was educated at Hutchins School and he'd apprenticed to Henry Hunter. He went on to have a successful career as an architect, designing many buildings around Australia. He lived in Hughenden on Macquarie Street. He died in 1931 and his widow contested the will all the way to the Privy Council because she didn't want to remain in the house after his death. The GPO cost £35,000 to construct. The foundation stone was laid by the Duke of York, who went on to become King George V. The Commonwealth Government refused to pay for the clock tower and the clock, so £1,465 was raised by public subscription, or donations, to fund the final stage, which officially opened on the 22nd of June 1906. The clock mechanism was made by Fritz Ziegler of Melbourne, and the bells were made in England by Taylor and Sons. 6 years later in 1912, Roald Amundsen sent his famous telegram to the King of Norway, announcing the first successful trip to the South Pole. And of course the photographs from that expedition were developed by none other than Watt Beattie, because Amundsen would trust those precious memories to no one else. Over the years the building has been renovated a little. They added a wheelchair ramp and moved the private box area around a bit. Elizabeth Street outside is now a bus mall and I can't park there anymore. I'm a touch obsessed with the GPO and I've taken more than a few photos of it. In the collection we have a few, including this one of motorcycles outside, and it features my dad right in the middle. The GPO has been a constant in my life, but also a constant for Hobart. Here I go again getting political, but over the years some of our historic buildings have been demolished to make way for change, but the GPOs remain pretty much the same, and that makes me happy. I hope you've enjoyed this forgotten story, and there's plenty more to come, and I just can't wait to share them with you. Please subscribe to this channel. The number of subscribers is a metric that YouTube uses to introduce new people to my videos. And I need to get to 1,000 subscribers before YouTube will start paying. And that's one of the reasons that I did the YouTube series in the first place. The other ways you can help with the collection are listed in the description below this video. So we have a Patreon campaign for those that are able to provide funds to the restoration of the collection. And the link to that website's there. And of course the link to our website and our email newsletter that comes out every month There's lots of ways to get involved, and please feel free to hit me up in the comments if I've missed something or got something wrong. If there's something else you want to see coming up, put it in the comments. I really love the feedback from people. Thank you for everything you do for me, and I'll see you in the next episode.